So this question was asked on my YouTube channel, and I wanted to take the time to respond to it here. So I try to be very mindful when talking about NPCs. Of course, one cannot subscribe to the simulation hypothesis without addressing the fact that there could very well be avatars that are not controlled by a consciousness, or there exist avatars that are controlled by the simulation, or the intelligence that controls the simulation. That said, I would hazard that at some point your avatar would have been considered an NPC. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I think that the closer a person gets to the next level of the game or the next dimension, or if you want to call it the closer you get to ascending, the more conscious you become. And subsequently, the more conscious the avatars that you interact with will also become. So think level 1. You're awake, but not aware, and certainly not as conscious as you are now. So then, the avatars that you encounter in the level 1 universe that you find yourself in will mostly be NPCs. But as you become more conscious or more aware, you begin to shift to a new level where the avatars of people you formerly thought were NPCs would be more aware or inhabited by a consciousness. I think it's more of a reflection of what level you are in the simulation. So bear in mind that your body is just an avatar. It can be controlled by the game or by a consciousness. And honestly, looking back at some of my earlier memories, while I was aware, I was not as conscious as I am now. So if you view the simulation as an awareness training program, then there was probably a time when your consciousness was either asleep, unaware, or not inhabiting your present form, depending, of course, on your perspective as to when consciousness actually enters the body. So at some point, you were an NPC. And I would take it a step further to say that sometimes you might log off, or like your consciousness can get booted out, in order perhaps to allow for a narrative that will push your consciousness to a new level of awareness. I've referred to that on my podcast as the narrative taking over. So yeah, I think at some point we've all been or will temporarily be NPCs.